On Edge VTF Fair T3 Live, and once again back from vacation. So Tuesday night we go through some of the actionable signals that we can dig up. One of the things we do have going on right now is very low VIX, and so that's a problem. So we do have earnings coming out, still have a little bit of earnings parade, so that's important because we can stay on that stuff. But what we do have in force is not only on the macro, inside quarter and up and SPY, but you are also inside week and up above 283.65er. If we go to take a look at the QQQ, QQQ is hammer counter shooter, and here you can see that how that forms the broadening formation, the higher high, the lower low. So we're at 2 to the upside, still looking to try and take that out, and that would be 182.93. We're getting there, but right now that's still going. Small caps here, and small caps trying to do the 3-2-2 and just kind of stalling out here because we're still early in the month. It is green, but we're still an inside month here for that. So if you go down to the daily, you can see it pokes its head up and stuck in this stuff. So as far as the weekly is concerned, really want to look for signals at 167.67, right? And you're right there. So you can look as long as we stay above that, you can continue to look to signals on the upside. Go to the Dow Jones Diamonds. Inside week to the upside momentum hammer. Makes that a momentum hammer because this is green, and when I say momentum, what that means is it's got to keep going, right? Because you're not coming off lows, you're going into highs. So what that means is that what's the next two? We don't want this thing to take out these lows at all, right? It's got to keep going two in one direction for the diamonds gap and sit right there. And that when you can see stuff like the broader average is a little tough there because we want to, we're hunting volatility when you have this environment. So if we go back to the weeklies right now, you've got Disney. Inside week and up, earnings just came out and it's dropping, however. So we want to see that thing. If it drops, right, it opened the week at 114.66. So it still can come in a couple bucks and still be green on the week and still be green on the month. If it opens there on the daily, it could go shooter down, but that would be a 2 back down on the shooter down on the gap. But if it starts moving higher, it would still have full time frame counter to the upside. All right, so we want to be aware of that opening. And we want to be aware of, is it still inside week and up above 114.09? You got SMH, inside and up hammer above 107.87. You can see for these things, we're used to more of these bigger moves, and it's slowly creeping its way up, but we're going to respect that. We got SWN little guy. And that's natty and trying to come up out of here. So above 522, and it's 10 cents so far. You can look for anything there with the natty. AMAT with the semis, and you can see barely, and all this stuff barely moving, but that signal's still good above 49.06. With further confirmation, you can see it goes 2. It's just kind of slow going, but it is what it is. All right, Hewlett Packard, HP. Inside week and up and trying to get out of this tight range. You did get out of this, and you took them all out. That would be your next project here. Above 23.48, it's there. Pulte Home. So you can watch that with the home builders. And you can see this thing here trying to come off of this stuff. The problem here is this big mother bar. How are you going to get out of there? And so what that means is that at the exhaustion of this week, if you don't get out of there, these two revert into a 1, an inside bar of this, until you can get out of that, because you're still consolidating. Now, when you trade this, what you want here is full time frame continuity to the upside, because if it's going to take that out, that's the condition it's going to be in. So you'd be aware of any time the 60 goes red, if it has a chance of challenging the daily going red, which it didn't here. Tomorrow might be a different story, but it is what it is. Week and upper. RRC, little guy. Still coming out of the ashes. Used to be somebody up in here. Still been an inside month. And still 2-bar pattern in here, but inside week and up above 15.68. LITE. And that's inside week and up. And the good thing about here is you can see this outside bar here. So we know that's fractal triangle that we can go after, right? We're back into this old triangle because outside bar in a shorter term time frame is going to look like this. Has to. Can't not be. So this one's going to be down into here. This is higher than that. So you draw back to there. And then you go on these highs. back to that. And there's your broadening formation here. You would be going after that so long as this weekly is up here above 55.60. CSX and the trannies. CSX and the trannies inside week and up. The problem here is exhaustion risk, because anytime you're going into the new highs, shorts have nothing to be short against, right? And you have the risk of being a crowded trade. So you did complete that by taking this and that out, but you're still inside week and up above 71.43, and the hopes is you get measured move of something like this. Just keep ripping. You can watch that with the trannies. EVHC. This thing drying up into nothing. What's going on here? Okay, this thing's barely trading. This thing looks like it's probably going away. We'll move on. Agilent. Here, once again, we got that inside week to the upside, and we're looking for this triangle here. You can see I already had it drawn, and it goes right to it. Right? We want to try and get through that. On the daily, you'd see something like this when I drew it like this. But you have to remember, anytime you get above this and close, you can redraw the triangle. So it actually comes off of there. Doesn't mean it can't keep going, because on the monthly, it does go to the upside. All right? Two up, so that's still good, and you're back into an old 3. That's a bigger triangle on the weekly, right? And that's going to be more stuff like up into here, right? So we'll see. But right now, inside week and up, Agilent above 66.68. Microchip, more semis with the SMHer. Microchip outside, inside 312 Chicago. Right, so you get outside of that try, that's good, and you can come up off this stuff. And the good thing here, once again, in the monthly, you want to watch this level too. 2 down, 2 back up over 96.91, so you can watch that, because the weekly was 95.61, so you can watch that other level, equally as important to stay up there. VFC Corp. VFC Corp. Going to new highs, and you can see hopefully triangle them out up in here, then inside the 2, 1, 2 continuation. All right, so you can see this was red, then inside and then up 2, but the scenario was up 2 up, but red, then 1, then 2, and so see if we can take out those highs. But you are coming towards the highs, so exhaustion risk. Google, still big mother bar to get out of here in the weekly, right? And you're still inside of the month, albeit early in the month. So here, Google above 1252.89. You can see how tight this business is in here, so we don't want to 2 back down on this. We're going to make sure this thing keeps going. You are back into an old 3 on the daily there, though, as well. GameStop. Thrill a minute. But here's the monthly. All right, and you'd want to take that 1562 out. And you're nowhere near that on the weekly. You got this, all right? You took them out. Now the question, can you start working on this stuff? And right here above 1498, you can start looking at the other things. KNX, big mother bar to get out of. And so you ain't getting out of this thing, right? So you want to be real careful when you see something like that. And so the way you play that is with the micro triangles. And you can see this here. It goes inside, then down, and then the rev strat back up. That means that when you get it here, right, you're re-triggering the week, and you're coming off the bottom of a smaller triangle because you're coming to target into here instead of going straight into the highs, right? But I'd be careful of that, because you do have a big mother bar you're not getting out of. Toll Brothers and the Home Builder went 3-2 day today, and that helped take that weekly. But once again, how are you going to get outside of this thing is the problem, so you'd be mindful of that. UNH in the Dow. UNH ever so slightly trying to get out of here, and that is a VIX problem, right? And so you can see here, we can still respect this, but pops up and then does nothing, and actually sets up a rev strat to the downside if they want to bring it back in through. Tractor Supply, TSCO, still inside on the month, but it is green. And the weekly still 3-1-2. Chicago to try and get out. Use this triangle to get out of here. So that's good when you have that bar like that, because that means that you've got this action in here. You triangle them out down in here, and now you're trying to gun these guys down. See this? The slight higher high, slight lower low. And you came out here. So here is 79.88. All right, so you're right there, so you look for signals above that. EIX. Once again, utility and 312 with the hammer above 67.19. Still inside in the month, but we'll see. If you go to the daily, you're going to get this. You're going to get the outside hammer 3 to try and come after that stuff with the XLU itself going hammer counter shooter. Norfolk Southern in the trannies once again here, and you can see the hard part of this. These ranges just gaps up and sits there and does nothing that you can use. However, it is weekly up. You're just at exhaustion risk into the highs. But above 170, 171, you can continue to look for that full time frame continuity with the triangle, the out, and Union Pack here, not doing it and still staying in here. But you always want to watch the whole group and see if this is an inside day. Yep, to see if we can get out of this stuff. Anyway, SWKS, more semis with the inside weaken up. See how they got them good in here. Chopped them up, but good. Right? And now you have that inside weak hammer, and you're slightly above it to try and come back up into this thing, right? Because this is an outside bar, the old triangle in there. You'd want to try and get back into that. And so if you go to the daily, you'll see it like this. Like so. So because this is higher than that, when you draw the triangle, you go back to the last lower high. Like that. Here's the lows of this. So that's what the outside bar looks like on a shorter term time frame. So you're going to try and come through this stuff. Team. Trying to march up. Now here's another thing that's important to be able to do with your mind, is to be able to change time frames without having it on your software. So you can see these 2 days here. If this was a 2-day chart, all this stuff would be inside of it. You see that? So you want to be able to do that in your mind. And that, what helps is on the weekly, is that you know that here, because you got your inside week, but you still want to try and get out of that stuff. Inside week above 75.55. And let's see what the charges. URI. That's somewhat preferably, because we want to have a bunch of levels to go after once we start coming back up. So you do have that weak and upper right here. You got some distance to not be an inside month, but you've had a lot of corrective activity if it wants to keep going. Still be inside on the month. You can see these days just starting to chop through these guys. So I always want to have lots of pivots to go after, because anybody short is going to be short against that, you know, those guys, right? But for right now, inside week to the upside, 149.55. Alaska Air Tranny. And on the weekly, outside, inside, 312. Above 63.51, you're there, but you can see how tight this range stuff is in here. And it's starting to get a little better on the daily. Here, we're starting to get that triangle to grow. All right, but you can see when you're stuck in, let's say, these two here, then you're going to see when the things start in the middle here, like of a mother bar, you get a new series starting. You want to be careful of this here. There's your internal triangle within these two. See? Okay. But you got that benefit of that weaken up. I goes weaken upper, and you're gunning for these guys. Trying to get it to the highs, because you got the 3, 1, 2 your way. All right? Going your way. You did take this out. You just want to stay up above there. So it's above 41.21, but you really want to stay above 41.46. 5. And you can see consolidating forever, but now you got this weaken upper, and it's been sitting up there. Couldn't make a lower low on the months here, so you're still putting 2s in on the month. Just a little tight to see if it's finally time to triangle those guys up, but not them, and then start gunning up in here. You got a weaken upper though. AVT, oh boy. To see how tight this is, all right? And it is inside weaken up barely, and you're trying to come up in here. You've got this greater triangle here. Let's see, that's 44, 65, 83, 85. So this is still lower than that. So believe it or not, most people always are just gunned to the absolute highs. It comes off that, because these are lower here. You see this? This is what makes it somewhat tricky for people. You still got your higher highs and your lower lows in there, but we'll see that's a little tight. And another thing that's important when I say these are tight like this, oftentimes you'll wait until the middle of the week and see if these things are really going, because the ones that are going, you'll see these bright green bars and stuff like that. So if we go to iRobot 312, and you got a big 3 to get out of. So that could be good. We want these triangles to be involved, and we want to get out of them. But you're inside week and up above 83.47. And here you can see the daily broadening formation you're trying to get out of. And it hit the original right here, but you got that week and upper to try and get out of this thing. Calm. Chicken eggs. Chicken eggs. As you can see, this plain as day. The higher highs, the lower lows, the greater try. And now coming off the inside week. All right, the 2 down, 1, 2 reversal. So we took out this stuff, is what originally wanted to do. Now it's a question you're going to be strong enough to come up into this, and you can see the greater try again in this outside bar that you're back into. So what's the next 2? The good thing about calm is you're quite a distance from being taking that out. You're also quite a distance from taking that out. So good chance of inside day, just be aware of that. Children's Place, PLCE. PLCE, inside week to the upside. Above 127.05, you're there. Still trying to get out of the mother bar. And you can see all this other stuff to come after up here. And on the daily, what's the next 2? An inside day to take the week. And what would really give this thing a booster here is if you can take out the monthly high and go 2-2 back up. And that would be over 129.85. So you got a little extra boost there. If you go to the weekly hammers, I was having some problem with my weekly hammer scan, so bear with me. Didn't have Facebook, and Facebook certainly is one of them. Hammer up, and you're back into this try. The question is, now that you get into here, if these 2 bars are 1 bar, how are you going to get out of that, right? And so, good chance here is an inside month, all right? So you want to be aware of any change here, because on the daily, what it did do here is it took this stuff out. Now it 2s these guys out, so right now you're closer to being 2 back down, right? And start forming that internal triangle like I was showing you before, right? So you want to be very aware of that when you get into the middle mother bar stuff. OAS. And goes up, hammer, counter, shooter, triangles these guys out, and then collapses. You see, and this is our goal, is to go take that out, and then you hope that it stays up there, right? But what they go, take them all out. What was the high over here? 87. What was this? 90. Took them out by 3 cents, and that was it, right? So you just stopped everybody out, and now you come back in here, so you want to be very careful on that. You'd have to regroup somehow, maybe get an inside day and go up on that. Microsoft. And Microsoft... weekly hammer counter shooter above 108.09, you're there. So this thing still walking, coming up on these guys, just going here, and you want to stay above this 3 here also, and that's your 108.09. DFS financial, there you go. The 2-1-2 measured move daily, and like I said, if we had more volatility, that could get some more power going, because you got the triangle here, these lows and then these highs. You want to stay getting out of there. The good thing for DFS is you got the inside month and up above 74.18, and you're above that too. And your weekly hammer over 73.55. So DFS working. ADP, hammer counter shooter above 137.34. Right, it's also trying to go 1 bar rev strat month here to go outside monther. So on the daily, you're going to see this. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get through this stuff, because you got the weekly and the potential monthly to help you out. Skechers. Skechers going inside month almost for sure. This is a problem that you're still in here. All right. Now you do have this week and upper, it just has to keep going, right? Because you got your compound 1. You took this out, but because they both closed in here, your compound 1 actually gets taken out here, 29.07. Just took the first, but then you got to go after that, and then you got to stay up there. STZ, rev strat weaker, above 214.50, takes it, trying to get back up into the old try. A little delayed move on the outside 3, 2, 2. Still have some more of this stuff to come after. That's a good thing. And on the monthly, to go outside monthly, you'd need 219.70. So we'll see if that's strong enough to do that. You can watch that with some of the other XLP type stuff. DXC. DXC. Triangle out, triangle out. All right, above 86.88. All right, you're there right now. Just some tight range of stuff, though, but we'll see. SERV. RevStrat. Hammer counters inside bar and shooter. Back in a 3, but you're still stuck in all this stuff, right? You got to get out of there. You took this out, but once again, it's internal triangle. It goes back to a 1 until you can get out of there. And if you look at the daily, you can see the importance of changing time frames. You can see this takes that stuff out and then this stuff out. So you want to stay above here, right? ZUO. ZUO, another tight triangle business here. You can see this. Like so. So ZUO here does go RevStrat week up. The thing is, it took a bunch of this stuff out already, and then it wasn't strong enough to take that out. That's what you'd want to go, because you took all this stuff out, right? But it's still in force above 26.56. But you'd really want to get up there and then take a shot back at this monster, and that's 28.99. You get outside of that, and you can see this on the monthly 2-month inside pattern. We can expect reversals and stuff like that when you have that. Multiple. VeriSign. Still inside monster. Weekly hammer counter shooter above 151.65. What's the next 2 on the daily? You just want to keep coming up on this 3. Right, your tight ranges and stuff like in here. DBX. DBX, daily Momo hammer. Comes back up and you see this tight range stuff. You got down here, now the question, can you come through all that? Weekly, you're back into this here. And so ideally you want to come up and use all this kind of stuff to go after. You still have some room to take out that monthly here. So that'd be an issue there. But you do have some weekly stuff you can go after it starts moving. WIX. WIX, daily try right in your face. Like so. Weekly, shooter, hammer. Back into the old try here. That's good. We got some more room in there, and you're back into a 3. Above 101.85, and the good thing about the monthly, you're not still inside. You already took it down there, so your potential 3 all the way back up to rip through this thing. Get. Palo Alto. Palo Alto, hammer upper on the week. Still trying to come up of this stuff. That's good above 209.77. You're trying, bottom of the try, now you're trying to come after this stuff for continuation patterns there. Amazon. Amazon does this. Weekly hammer. Back into a 3. So we're looking to complete the triangle by going into new highs. What's the next 2? Stop, hit the old try. Now can you get through there and take that out? We had a 3-2 day up right there. You had your inside day. Your 2, 1, 2. FISV. FISV. Weekly hammer back into a 3. So we're looking to try and take this out. 78.21. So long as it's above 76.82. TWLO, big gapper, but it hammered up, but it was on earnings, so there's not much to do. So you're most likely going to have to disseminate this gap and go inside day. Microchip, MCHP. MCHP with the semis. And you can see here, the outside, inside. I think we already went through this. I think that was in the insider, wasn't it? No, we'll just take a look at it again. No, yeah, we already looked at that. Thank you. All right, so I run out of time here. ADI, analog devices. And that's slight hammer upper here. So you just watch that with the semis. Outside and up. Tesla, get. And so, like, when you know to go after this stuff, boom, Tesla above 355. That's your go. That's your go. And certainly got the signal up in there. When you get to 60, Boom, inside 60 here. Triggers goes through all these guys and takes the 55er with the news. So now you got yourself an outside 3-2 weaker and an outside day. NRG, outside up, triangle expansion. Remember, this is expanding both sides, and now even further expansion. Why these works? 32.95. ECL, 3-2 week. Above 147.20, you're there. You're also inside month and up, 1-2. BMRN, triangle them out, boom. 3-2-2 in their face, which makes the 3-3 weaker. Triangle expands, 3-3. Now you just got to stay out there. Ross Stores outside week to the upside, reconfirmed today with the inside day up, 1-2. Still good. Exhaustion risk as you're going to new highs would be the issue. STOR, outside week to the upside. Plenty of room. Used to be somebody up into here. That's good. 3-2 week above 28.33. ATKR. Boom. 3-2 upper above 23.92. You're there, and then some. This thing is also a 3-monther. 3-2-monther upper. So nice combination there. It goes out near the highs. BAH. 3-2 hammer week. Momo hammer up above 47.76. SATS. 3-2 weaker. Above 45.77. Handily there. GTN. Above 15.70. Be looking to go 3-monther and try and take that out if you can. But what's the next two? How are you going to get outside of that? And you can see this garbage in here, so you got to make sure you're not inside day in there. IRDM and Iridium. Exhaustion risk going to the highs, but you are 3-2 upper above 1930. ILMN 3-2 weaker above 335.19. DOCU 3-2 weaker above 59.59, also inside month and upper here above 57.50. Hain Celestial still working this giant monthly try. Inside month pokes down to try and go 3 and come up on it using the 3-2 weaker above 30.11. XON 3-2 weak above 1501. Looking at the monthly above 1566. You're almost there to go month and weaker. Parker Hannafin PH. Gaps and sits does nothing here, but you are 3-2 weaker above 172.60. CRL 3-2 weak above 127.89. Exhaustion risk would be the issue. Corvo in the semis. Chop shop, trying to get out of this thing, but you are 3-2 up above 84.91. Post XLPs. Exhaustion risk going to new highs would be the issue, but you are 3-2 up above 94.64. VRSK 3-2 weaker above 15.13. Exhaustion risk as you are going into the highs. QGen 3-2 weak above 38.37. You're also inside month and upper, I believe, on the gap. Yes. IDTI 3-2 weak above 35.95. The monthly, did you poke down? Yes, also 3-2 on the monther. For some of the downside, not too much of it, but we'll get to it. X-ray, that's a 3-weeker, a 1-bar rev strat down. You see it, we want to try and get that so we can take all these guys out in one shot. It's still good, and you're an outside month as well. It was just on one big gapper today. You'll see. It's the problem. So that's might have to sum of that gap. NLSN. Inside weekly shooter down. Still want to try and get outside of that mother bar if you can. You can see that. Here's that internal triangle. Triangle they out, and then you can come back here, use this thing to take them out. But we'll see. ONCE, big gap down, puker. Inside weekend downer, but big gap. But it also stays down as 3-2 monthly down. PDCO. PDCO is trying to go outside monther. 1-bar rev strat weekly, still tight range, but you do have this stuff to go after if they want to keep crushing her. Brooks. 1-bar rev strat. Inside comes back and takes that out. The good thing about this potentially is the monthly shooter's down. The bad part is getting out of this daily. LMT. LMT hammers on the day, but presently slightly weakened down. You still want to get outside of this thing. Remember, otherwise you stay as a 2-bar. AQUA. One-bar rev strat, weekly down. All right, and that was also a kicker gapper, so they took care of business in one shot. You see, we prefer not the earnings. We want to move, travel through stuff like that. Sonic. Trying to go monthly. 2 shooter down. You do have the weekly down. Just want to get outside of this 3-1-2 Chicago and stay down in here, and then you can start coming after that stuff if you're lucky. AIZ. That's just inside week down, still be inside month. And you got an inside data reconfirms. The question is this triangle too tight here? And this is one of the VIX problems, right? RLJ goes 1-3, 1-bar rev strat with the 3-1-3 to take the weekly shooter down here. Still tight range of stuff. TDG. Weekly shooter down, you just triangled a bunch of this stuff out, right? And it was on a gap, so the problem is how you get this thing going. BOLD. That is trying to go monthlies. Shooters down with your weekly. Here, shop. The good thing is you're back in this old 3 if you can get this thing to accelerate out of this stuff, because you've already taken these guys out. You're going to be weak enough to come after that will be the question. MMP just slight shooter and barely down there, so just it is what it is. The next 2 though is good. You're close to taking that out. Okay, outside down. APC and got clobbered today. That was very nice. It was also 3-2 dayer. So there's your day. 3-2 day triggers the 3-2 week. So that's more like it, because that also triggers, you see, the 2-2 reversal month that comes after this stuff and starts taking them out. Noble Energy, 3-2 week down, below 32.13. And you can see that also got a little help from the monthly. Inside, outside, 1-2-2 rev strat monther, and that's still in force. SEE. Three-two weaker down, trying to get out of all this stuff. It's really a dripper, though. Here, if you look at the monthly, but you do have that signal. We'll see if it takes it down. Here, below 41.64. LMNX. Pow, puker on the gapper. But there's your 3-3 weaker, and you can see that also caused the 3-monther here, and so this thing closed near the low, so there might be some more pain. SLF. SLF, outside day, so you got your 3-day, and you can see how you clobber in these guys. You see if there's anything more in the tank. Your 3-2 weaker down, below 39.90, and BCE, 3-2 down, weekly, below 41.44. So I went over a little bit, and I know there's a lot of stuff that seems like I kept saying tight, 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 but that's important for you to know, because if you just start running the scans, you're going to be running into this stuff. Like I said, the low VIX, we're going to look for some more action, but hopefully when we slow it down like this, I'm showing you what to look for on your own. All right, that's going to do it for today. The Wheels in Motion Show. I'm Rob Smith of the Black Quant VTF here, T3 Live.